welcome back to the Click Chick podcast. Today we have Ashley in Winston-Salem.
Hi guys.
Ashley was also one of my favorite second photographers. I had Haley on last week or a couple weeks ago, and she's my new A-team, but Ashley was
original
one of
A-team.
The original. Yes, she was such a favorite second photographer for me, and I was so sad when she decided to not step out, but like step back a little bit, because we were working some like double weekends.
Oh, we were killing it.
Yeah.
Well, because my husband, he quit his job at a credit union to learn a new job. So I was like, I got to make some extra cash, and why not do it with McKenna? So.
And it was so much fun too, because at the time I was also living in Winston-Salem, and so I would pick Ashley up from her house.
We just had a great time.
Drive together, have all of the gossip. There was so much going on in my life.
So much Red Bull.
You were kind of like my therapist.
Yes,
for like the 2 hour drive. So
you're like, so this is what's happening in my life, and I'm like,
I've been crying a lot lately, but like it's fine. I'm good.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. All our trips to Raleigh.
And then the drives back were just like silent for the first 30 minutes, and then start rehashing.
Do you want
the
food?
wedding.
Yeah. Okay, let's get some food.
No, right.
Okay, no. Can you believe this person did that? I can't either. It's crazy.
My favorite wedding is the freezing cold one we did at Twickenham House, like outside of Boone.
Yeah.
And it was so cold. And then we sat in the car while we're eating our vendor meals, just dead silent. And I turn over and you're just scarfing down this food. And I sent a picture to your husband, Jeremy.
I stay hungry.
It was so good. I'm like, this is your wife. Like, look how hot she is right
I'm
now.
like, it's not cute. Like, it was like...
Like, get into
it. She's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm starving.
But yeah,
anyways,
we need to do another wedding soon. I was just telling you too that I had a wedding yesterday at what's it called? Footnote. And I was so sad that I didn't have a second photographer with me. I'm like, Ashley literally lives right up the street.
Oh, like right over there.
I should have like hit you up just to wedding crash, be like, come get some food.
I'd be like, great, let's do it.
Yesterday's wedding was really entertaining too. You would have loved it.
Yeah.
It was in the client's backyard. They live like downtown and have like this gorgeous backyard, gorgeous flowers. And my favorite part is that the wedding ended at 10:30, but they only had coverage until 9. And so I take the couple for paparazzi photos about like 10 minutes before I leave.
Chef's
and
kiss.
I didn't realize how drunk they were. Which like
makes it even better.
Like, have fun at your wedding, like please do. No judgment at all, but, like,
definitely.
I'm having
it's your day, and no, it's fine. Do whatever you want.
You know, when we're trying to get like fun walking photos, and it's like do the drunk walk where they're kind of like bumping hips.
You didn't have to tell
I told them,
to do
I was
that.
like, I don't think you even have to try that hard.
No,
like,
now touch your nose.
Can you walk in a straight line?
Say your ABCs backwards, which I can't even do sober.
No, I
ABCs backwards, ZYXW, that's all I got.
I can do ZYX. I would have been stumped on W.
I don't know where W goes, so it's fine.
But yeah, it was so cute. They're like dropping their stuff, and then there's 3
I would love to
cops
see
like right
those.
around the corner, and I'm just like, they don't need to see this. Let's
you don't
get
need
you
to see
back
this.
inside.
And honestly, if you do, just give them a pass. It's their
she's
wedding
wearing
day.
A wedding dress. Like you can't get in trouble. And as I'm leaving, I'm like, I haven't seen her drink any water tonight. So I go to the bar and ask them for a cup of water, hand it to the bride. I'm like, I love you so much. Please don't be hungover tomorrow.
McKenna will look out for you on your wedding day.
So
like above and beyond. Yeah.
That's why you're the favorite, which we'll get into in a minute. But one of the favorite. If you're another second photographer who's worked for me.
I'm just the first favorite.
She is the first favorite. Okay. This is a fact.
She's loved me longest.
I've loved her longest. Fine. But today we're going to talk about second shooting. So talking more to new second shooters, or if you've second shot a good amount, but you're noticing that photographers aren't asking you back a second time to second shoot.
Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know.
Like what you may be doing wrong, second shooter mistakes, and then just how to be a good second photographer. So I think starting with that is talking about gear, because I think I know that a lot of people, when they're looking for a second shooter, they say like must have this, and this, and list all of your gear. For me, I don't mind working with a new photographer. Like you did your first wedding ever with me.
Yes.
What were you shooting with? Do you remember your gear?
Just a Canon. Gosh, what was my old one?
70D?
70D?
80D?
80D? 80D.
Yeah.
ADD.
Remember your lens? Was it a 35?
Yep, Sigma.
Yeah.
I still shoot the same one.
And then did you use flash?
You gave me your flash to use, like an external flash.
Yeah.
Which I had never used before either on our first wedding. I don't know how to do this.
So I think, like, as far as having gear, even like the minimum that I would want to see from a second shooter was a full body camera with even just, if you have one lens, having a 24-70 would be
ideal,
because then you can get the wide shot, you can get the close-ups during toasts or the ceremony.
As a second shooter, you're not doing a whole lot of portrait stuff per se, usually.
Yeah.
So you're more just getting like extra shots, like reception, ceremony, that kind of stuff. So.
Exactly. And so, like, just having that, practice with your flash first.
Yes. Figure it out, because it's not that easy. You don't just turn it on.
Like,
okay.
I knew Ashley had no idea what she was doing, so, like, I walked her through it and everything.
And she'd, like, come over and, like, check my, like, okay, just making sure what your settings are.
And so, like, it ended up working out great. But if I was working with a new second photographer, I wouldn't want somebody who was like, oh, I've never used a flash before.
She really took a risk with me.
But it worked out.
It worked out great.
You did great.
I'm a fast learner. It's fine. Yeah. We're here.
But yeah, and then bring your own memory cards too. The photographer usually is going to bring a, what's it called? SD card is just the basic one, right? I always get confused because there's like CF cards. There's that other one that's really expensive.
I don't know that much about SD cards, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, you know everything.
I had
I don't know.
photographer show up, and they had in their camera, they had an SD slot, and then whatever that really expensive one is.
Is it like the tiny, is it smaller?
It's small and really thick.
Huh.
I can't remember the name of it, but...
No, I've seen those before. I don't know what it's called, though.
And so
I know you have two.
Me.
You have two SD cards.
Yeah.
In
and
your
they're just
camera.
Like the normal SD card. Yeah. Because you need the backup. I've been doing this almost 8 years, and I've only had one... Knock on wood. I don't have wood near me, but
we'll knock on it later.
Yeah. But yeah, I've only ever had one SD card corrupt, so like you need that extra.
And that was
backup.
recent, wasn't it? You told me like recently,
like last fall or something. I was in a panic, but like it all worked out. It was fine,
up everywhere,
which is why we have backups.
Yes,
but yeah, bring your own. If you have a weird like CF card or whatever the fat SD card is that I was talking about, bring that, because your second or your main photographer is going to bring a traditional SD card for you to use. And then sometimes a lead photographer is going to supply you with 2 SD cards for each camera or whatever you're doing. Like, does that make sense for like your backup and the main one?
Yeah.
But yeah, generally just make sure you have half of it covered, because you don't want to leave them high and dry. And especially in busy season, like we don't have a ton of SD cards left over.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So let's talk about what to wear as a second photographer, because I know a lot of people have different standards. Some photographers dress like they're going to be a wedding guest.
I've seen that.
Which I love.
Which it looks really cool on Instagram. However, it makes me uncomfortable.
I sweat too much to wear like blue or like just a color.
Yeah. Or like I've seen girls wear like long dresses as the photographer. I'm like, how you get on the ground like that?
Okay,
like,
but also like I've got thick thighs, so the chub rub after you've been on your feet for 8 hours. I'm not about to hike up a mountain in a dress with my thighs rubbing together.
We're thinking practical.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. And we wore Converse. No, you still wear your blazers.
I wear blazers.
Your OG blazers.
Wedding. Yeah.
You have the same ones.
No, so I got a replacement pair of the exact same ones.
Oh, but they just look the same
They
now.
look the same. And then I've been wearing my white ones more lately, because I want to like, those are my favorite. The beige ones that I've worn to all the weddings are my favorite.
Yes.
So I don't want those to get too messed up where I can't wear them casually.
Yes.
So now I have a pair of white blazers that are just for weddings and shoots, and then I have white blazers like that I wear.
Shoes. Yeah. Okay.
And then I have white blazers that I wear socially, so that I don't mess them up.
I get it. I'm a sneakerhead. I get it. I get the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Like I just love my blazers. They're comfy.
And then I wore my white Converse, high top Converse.
Yeah.
That I've had since like high school.
And they were great.
They were great. It was comfortable. I wasn't worried about stepping in mud. Like, it was fine. I don't want to worry about what I'm wearing.
Yeah. Like, I care about professionalism. So usually I'll wear a black bodysuit, either long sleeve or like a tank top, and then black pants, usually black skinny jeans, unless it's a really nice venue.
And you wear like, what are they called? Trousers?
Yeah.
Is that what we call them?
Yeah.
Which are really in these days.
Or a jumpsuit. I love a jumpsuit.
Jumpsuits are great because they're easy and they look nice. They're put together, but they're super comfortable.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have a fanny pack on me if I need to carry some stuff around. Love a fanny pack moment.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's really all I expect from my second photographers is just wear all black.
Look well groomed. Like...
I had a wedding. I won't say when because I don't want to call this photographer out if she listens. But she showed up in this jumpsuit, which is fine. But she had some tatas. Like, they were some tiggle bitties. And tiggle bitties. And they were spilling out. You could see her bra straps, and she was just spilling all over the place.
Bra straps are a no-no for me. I cannot stand when they show.
Yeah, which like mine are peeking out.
No, you're fine.
But
I would have told you. I would have told you it's fine.
But it was like low cut. She was spilling out all over the place, and then you don't have to wear makeup.
No, like that shouldn't be like a you need to wear makeup because I don't know. It's just
not everybody wears it, and
yeah,
like,
and that's
I think
great.
that's a weird standard to have.
Yeah.
But her hair was super unkempt and she had no makeup. And I'm like, did you just roll out of bed?
Yeah.
And I'm not being mean, but when it's my business and you're representing it.
Exactly. You want to look a certain way. Like, it's your brand.
Yeah.
It's how you represent yourself. And when someone shows up and they're just like, I don't know, looking crazy.
Yeah,
it's
like it just felt a little bit disrespectful. And I was like, so I sent her home early. Like, I used her for as much as I needed her for.
Yes.
And as soon as I was over it, I'm like,
you
time
can
to
go.
leave. Because it was a really nice wedding, too. I won't say what the venue was.
Okay.
But
we're not going to say any details. She'll tell me later.
But it was a really nice venue.
Yeah. Just look nice. Look put together like you're going in like for like a job interview.
Right.
Like, think about that.
Business casual.
You know what I mean? Business casual.
Or skinny jeans that are nice. Like, good-looking black skinny jeans.
Yeah. Not, I don't know. I mean, to each their own. Like, because, like, something could look different on somebody else. But
yeah. But, like, ask the lead photographer what they want you to wear.
Yeah. I would, like, before we did, like, a million weddings together, I would, like, send her, like, is this okay? Like, take pictures and stuff. But, I mean, then I wore the same thing for every single wedding after that.
The other thing, just, like, I don't know if this counts as gear, but important to do is when you show up, sync your cameras with the lead photographer's cameras. Otherwise, when you're editing, it's a nightmare to have to figure out. I usually will end up going to the first kiss photo and be like, okay, line up. Yeah. But it still can be off by like a teeny tiny fraction of a second.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating to have to manually rearrange those photos. So what I've been doing lately...
I'm going through that right now.
Are you really?
Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
What I've been doing lately is on my phone, I'll pull up the website. It's called time.is, or I think there's one that's like a government website that does the same thing. Okay. But it pulls up a real-time clock that goes like hour, minute, seconds.
Okay.
So with each camera, I take a picture of that clock. I'll have my second shooter do it. So you can do it at any time during the day. So if you forget about it, you can do it before they leave, and just make sure each camera body has a picture of that clock. And when you go into Lightroom, you just select all of the photos they took. So like the metadata for each camera.
Okay.
Click on the clock photo that you took and then edit that metadata. And it's so easy. It takes 5 seconds.
Okay.
I'll show
you should show
and for all of you guys listening or watching, I will make a tutorial video on my YouTube for you guys.
Yes.
But yeah,
God bless this woman. She's so knowledgeable. It's incredible. Anyways,
I'm trying.
Yeah,
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, just a couple.
We've had a few weddings. Yeah, you know, I've done over 200 now.
You put that on your Instagram profile. That's amazing. That's
a lot.
Incredible. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot. Between second shooting and shooting my own weddings, I've done...
You've actually counted.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did have to guesstimate the first 3 years because I didn't have my schedule.
Yeah, there's not like a whole lot of track for that.
But now I actually write down. I'm like, okay, this year we're doing this many. That's
true. Yeah.
So now I have a log, and I counted it up, and I'm
so
like,
cool.
Wow.
She's like a professional, whatever. It's fine.
I do what I can. So finding second shooter jobs.
Like as a second shooter, finding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're just starting out and you've never shot a wedding before, what I would do is find some type of event that you can photograph. So whether that's just like in my neighborhood in Charlotte, there's a softball league that meets up every week. I would go and just take pictures of that. Now, this isn't what I did, but in hindsight, I would go take event photos. I would take photos, like some flash photos, at night, whatever. Just get something to show your skill level. And obviously it's
that
not
you know
wedding.
how to at least operate a camera.
Right, because all I want is someone to prove that they know camera settings.
Yes.
So I would put together a digital link for all of those photos and start reaching out to photographers and showing them, I've never shot a wedding, but this is what I can do. Ask some of your friends to do a couple session and be like, this is what I can do, just to show some variety, even if it's just photos around your house. Like, put some details together, like if you're married, put your wedding rings and just show what you can do.
What places are probably just looking for like photos is like churches, honestly. Like just looking for like people hanging out in their lobbies or whatever. Like churches, I feel like are always looking for that. So you can always reach out to a church and be like, hey, can I take photos for y'all? And I'll just hand them over to you. You can use it on your social media, but I just need content.
And then you can show, because most photographers with a second photographer, they're looking for candid pictures. So you'll have people showing up.
There's like a reception every Sunday. It's great.
No, exactly, because I did photography for the church I was a part of for like 2 years. And it was all candid, people showing up, people on stage. So flash, I don't know how you do that, because usually they don't want flash like on the stage.
Usually like during the service you don't want to do flash, but as far as like when people are hanging out, no one cares.
Show up to the practice and just tell whoever is in charge, like,
that's true. Rehearsals, probably no one's gonna care.
Yeah, exactly. It's
great.
So that's brilliant. Go to churches, show your portfolio that way. And then as far as finding jobs, when I was starting out, and I've made a video about this before, or podcast episode, I reached out to local photographers and just said, I'll shoot for you for free. I'm trying to get work.
Unfortunately, you gotta do like the free stuff first. Like, even when you're just starting out as a photographer, like you need portfolio stuff. So, hey, like, can I take pictures of y'all for free?
Exactly. But I didn't have a portfolio to be able to show, like I said, the flash, the candids. So everybody who was kind enough to get back to me, most people didn't even respond. But if they did get back to me, it was a really kind no. Because again, you're representing somebody's brand. You want to be professional. Like, I'm not going to just have some random show up and shoot a wedding. Especially for free, just makes me nervous, being like, why are you willing to work for free? Are you even any good? So what I would do, what I would do in hindsight, and these groups weren't a thing when I was starting out in photography, but go on Facebook. So like, I live in Charlotte. There's a ton of Charlotte photographer groups, Charlotte wedding groups, North Carolina weddings.
Absolutely.
Wherever, so whatever city you're in, whatever state you're in, or like the nearest biggest city to you, or even any city that you're willing to shoot at. So like, if you're trying to expand your business two states away, put in, like I do Charleston weddings a lot. I'm a part of all of the Charleston photography groups. And so lead photographers post on there. I post on there all the time, being like, I need a second shooter for this. List your gear, list your website. And I hired a photographer who, he was awesome. He had a second shooter website, like a page on his site, like a hidden page. That showed his second shooter work. So he had a couple full galleries on there of weddings he had second shot. A description of him, his personality, and why he's fun to have at wedding days. A photo of himself.
I love that, like Indeed. Or dating, like a dating website. Like, swipe whatever, left or right. I don't know.
It was so great. And then I was like, okay, I know exactly what to expect from him. And I felt like he was taking it seriously because he was willing to put in all of that work to do that
that
website
says
page.
a lot.
So I was like, you're going to show up, you're going to be professional. He was awesome. He was super fun. But yeah, that's what I would do to find a job outside. Also, I'm interrupting myself, but
What she's about to say.
please don't ask a photographer to give you their wisdom in exchange for a cup of coffee. I also did that. And like, as respectfully as possible, my time is worth so much more than a $7 oat milk matcha, as much as I do love that.
I love that you're specifically oat milk matcha.
Yeah, in case you're wondering. Or I can be bought sometimes with a blueberry Red Bull. But not to share all of my photography knowledge, because there's so much to go over. And
Like, where to even start? Like,
exactly. And there's so many YouTube videos you can learn from. There's so many educational courses you can purchase, mentorships, which I will be offering soon. So stay tuned.
Shameless
for that.
plug.
Shameless plug. 1828 photo education.
Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe on Instagram. But yeah, I'll just say, definitely know when to ask for help and when you're providing a value for somebody versus just helping yourself out and making sure you're showing somebody, this is why it's worth hiring me for you, and not, oh, I need stuff for my portfolio, so I'm willing to shoot for free, because that's just a nightmare.
Yeah, you gotta kind of go about it in a different way, for sure.
Yeah. Which we'll get into that more, because I have some spicy.
So many. I'm so excited.
So with that, the most important thing to remember is that you're there as an employee and not to shoot for your portfolio. So what you shoot matters. And my biggest pet peeve and biggest mistake you can make as a second photographer is shooting the same thing as me. If I tell you to go to cocktail hour and 5 minutes later you're standing by my side while I'm doing couples portraits and not doing what I asked you to do, I will not hire you again, because you're clearly here for the wrong reasons. Like, obviously, come here, get that bag, make some money, and use the photos for your portfolio. That's fantastic.
Yes.
But
as long as you say second shooting for 1828.
Oh, yeah. Tag the lead photographer always. That's in my contract for second shooters, that you have to do that. But shooting what the photographer asks you to shoot, instead of being like, I really want this couple's portraits in front of the venue for my portfolio because it's so beautiful. Like, it is beautiful, and if the photographer's okay with you being there, then great. But when I'm doing couples portraits, I need my second shooter doing the reception photos.
Because most of the time it is during something else that's happening. It's just cocktail hour or whatever. So you don't need to be up the photographer's butt.
Right. And so, like, my expectation for a second photographer, I usually have them show up, not when I'm doing detail photos, but once the groom starts getting ready.
Yes.
I'll let my second shooter just take the lead on that. I'll give somebody example photos of what I'm looking for if I've never worked with them before, which is just the typical guys getting ready, like tie, shoes, boutonniere.
It's usually
jacket.
not a whole lot.
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
It's fairly easy. It's usually probably, I would honestly say, more fun in some ways to be like the photographer for the groom side.
It's so casual.
It's so casual. It's so easy. They're just like here to hang out. Yeah. The bride side is usually, like, honestly, the brides that you have attracted are all very, very cool. But
I have the best clients.
The best clients, I swear. Oh my gosh, so good. But a lot of times the bride's area can be high stress. There's a lot going on. The groomsmen don't care.
Yeah,
they just gotta get dressed.
Right.
That's it.
Just nag them a little bit.
Yep, exactly.
Just a slight threat.
Yeah.
But like, while you're laughing.
Just like, not a threat, a promise.
You're like, there will be consequences.
Yeah, if you don't do what I say.
Okay, so what else to shoot? Ashley's laughing because I just cut me yelling at her.
Flashbacks, what?
Okay, so what to shoot also is all of the details. I try to also shoot the details, but you can't have too many photos of that, because sometimes the lead photographer is gonna miss that welcome sign that's put out 5 minutes before guests start arriving. I'm usually really good about noticing all of that, but you've saved my life a couple of times being like, oh,
there was
did
like
you see
one with like a red getaway car, and I got a picture of it in the daytime, and you were like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, because I didn't even know it was there yet. Nobody told me, the coordinator, whatever. And so being able to like go around, shoot, if you see the bar is set up, take pictures of all of the signage,
all that stuff.
yeah, and also remember to shoot a variety of what do you say, like depths. So get a close-up photo of it, and then get a photo of the entire bar, and then if cocktail hour is on a porch, get a photo that shows the entire porch so that you're setting the scene, because most photography now is documentary style. So being able to tell the story of what the scene looked like, you feel more like you're there. So second or lead photographers are going to love you if you're capturing those types of photos.
Absolutely, because they're usually more focused on the couple, right? So like just trying to be like extra good.
Yes. And then the other important thing is just being the candid queen or king for the wedding day.
Okay, whatever.
We don't discriminate. We love boy second shooters. It's just more girls than boys do it.
Yes.
But yeah, going around and getting candid photos. So while guests are arriving, get the photos of everybody smiling and being happy. While I'm shooting bridesmaid photos, you can be there, but if I'm doing individuals with the bride, so each bridesmaid separate, focus on what those other bridesmaids are doing, because they're probably giggling and being silly and
or like making stupid faces,
exactly.
And you just got to get them.
Like I want all of those photos, and I don't shoot typically with a second photographer, which I've said before too, but I shoot like on paparazzi. So the entire wedding day, I walk away with thousands of photos.
Yes.
But that's because my head's on a pivot, and I'm like, I want the girls laughing. I want the formal photos.
Reactions all day long.
Exactly. And so being able to just capture candids, not the same photo that the photographer's doing. So
like, what are we going to do with that?
Right. Like during the ceremony, don't stand right beside me while I'm shooting the first kiss. Get
unless you're told to.
Unless you're told to, because I have told you to do that before.
And then one time I missed it.
That's okay, because I got it.
But God forbid you didn't.
You were new.
I was new. It's okay.
Yeah, there's grace.
Yeah, there's grace. I never did it again. But then there was 2 weddings that they didn't even have a first kiss. Do you remember that?
Was it Catholic?
It was one that was Catholic, but there was another one that they didn't do a first kiss either. And I was like, what is happening? Did I miss it? I had PTSD after
I know,
that.
you need to tell us that. Well, when I was starting out, I didn't know some Catholic weddings, they did 2 kisses. They have a kiss it's like greet one another with a kiss, I think the line is. Don't be mad if I'm wrong, y'all.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, and so
it's been like 2 years, I think, since I've second shot with you. It's kind of sad.
That's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
But yeah, that one always threw me off because I wasn't ready for it. But now I'm ready for it.
She's
I know
ready.
better.
She's shot over like 200 weddings.
Over 200 weddings.
It's crazy.
It's a pro. And then during toast too, not shooting the person giving a toast, because I'm going to get that as the lead photographer. All I really need are like 3 photos of the person who's toasting the couple.
Yeah,
I want you to walk around and get photos of the guests laughing and clapping and just reacting that way. I also tell my second photographers to figure out who the key people are and where they're sitting. So the parents and grandparents and siblings. Try and remember who they were from family photos and make sure you know where mom's sitting, because during the first dance with dad, mom's probably crying and I want you to get that photo. So just keeping an eye on all of that is really important. I don't know. Is there anything else you think that I missed as far as expectations of a second photographer?
Oh my gosh, don't overshoot.
Don't overshoot.
Do not give your photographer like 3,000 photos. Like, what would you say to stay between like 500 and 1,000 maybe?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think that's a good amount.
Also, don't undershoot. Like I had
don't overshoot and don't undershoot. Also do this. Like
make sure you're still capturing moments. I had a second photographer who during the first dance, I noticed that her flash wasn't going off at all. And so I assumed she was having issues with her flash. And so once that dance is over, I come over to her. I'm like, what's going on, girl? And she says, well, I saw you photographing it already, so I didn't think you wanted me to do it too. And I was like, that's a weird thought. Again, if I'm photographing the main dance, get different angles than what I'm getting, or get candids of the guests or mom crying or whatever. I was so confused. So don't feel like
just be mindful. Just like think about it.
Use a little common sense.
Yes.
Which isn't always common.
Yes.
But there's a lot of really intelligent photographers out here. No disrespect. I believe in you guys. You're going to do amazing. Yeah, but I think that's it as far as just...
Oh, here's another thing too. Have thick skin, because I cannot tell you how many times McKenna said, get out of my way. And I like have been like, you know, not disrespectful, right? But like respectfully, get out of my way. Because I was in her way and she was trying to get a shot of something or whatever. So like, just... don't take it personally.
Yeah. Assertive, not aggressive.
Yeah, assertive, not aggressive. Like, you can't be like, oh, they told me to end my feelings and my... No.
Yeah.
Just say okay and get over it.
Yeah, because sometimes the coordinator tells you that the couple's going to enter their reception one way, and all of a sudden they're running down the other way.
And you're like...
And as the lead photographer, I want to capture it as much as possible. So I'm going to be like, Ashley.
Yeah.
And... just gently kick her in the leg has happened. So
absolutely. And you know what? It's fine.
I had a videographer one time run in front of me as they're doing their entrance, the bride and groom. He did everything else normally. All the bridesmaids, groomsmen came in normally. And once the bride and groom, he like runs up. He was using a 24 millimeter lens, so he needed to be really close in order to get that wide shot.
Yeah, he did.
And the
like up your nose close.
Exactly. Like he was probably 4 feet in front of the couple at least.
Oh no.
And I'm like, my shot is going to be all this man. And this is the most horrific thing I've ever done in my life. So this photographer or videographer runs up in front of the couple, and I'm like, okay, they paid me to do this. I can't believe I'm actually about to do this. I grab this man by the back of his shirt, put my hand on his chest, and push him beside me. And the entire time they're running and doing like, woo, we're married, I'm keeping my hand on his chest so that he will not run in front of me again. Now, I apologize to this man a ton. I told him how horrified I was that just happened.
You're amazing.
But I was like, I needed the shot.
I know, like, I can like literally picture you like in your head, like hyping yourself up for this. Like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. If I don't get it, if I say like, oh, he was in my way, like, who cares?
Right. You can't redo that moment.
No, you can't. And that doesn't happen again.
Right. And I'm a candid photographer as much as possible. I tell people I give direction when needed, but I'm going to let real life moments play out. So I would never interrupt the couple and be like, oh, do it again or do it differently.
Yes.
Like, wait, lower your bouquet. I would never do any of that.
Yeah.
But if one of your... what do you call them? Team members, documentary team, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, your
documentary team.
Is going to ruin a shot. Like, I'm going to say something if I can without interrupting the wedding. And it definitely didn't interrupt.
Honestly, I don't know if this is going to be offensive or not. So
I had made some hot takes on the podcast already.
Okay, great. I'm just going to say this. I feel like the photographer is more important than the videographer. Is that okay? Can I say that?
I agree.
In certain ways.
I've had a lot of videographers tell me that when I start my day, if there's a videographer, I'm like, hey, like, what's your working style? What's comfortable for you? And usually they're like, you get what you need and I'll follow along. Because usually they're delivering like a 4 to 6 minute video, a bunch of little clips.
Yes.
So if they don't get everything, like, that's okay. And I'm doing as much as possible to make sure that videographers are getting what they need.
Yes.
Like constantly checking in, making sure
you definitely have to work well with the videographer that's there. But I'm thinking like, okay, we're putting up pictures of our wedding in our house more than we're watching our video every day.
Did you have a video at your wedding?
Yeah, I did.
How often do you watch it?
I've watched it twice.
No.
I've been married for 7 years. So that's my point. So I'm not saying that videographers are not important.
Yeah.
But there's
if it comes down to it, I'm going to put my hand on your chest and push you.
Yeah.
And not out of the way, but out of my shot.
Respectfully.
I felt so rude. It haunts me. I think about it every like 3 months.
You're like, I cringe. Like, ooh.
Yeah, it happened like 2 years ago. I'm sure he remembers it.
Honestly, you know what? It's fine.
It's fine. Womp womp.
It's fine. Womp womp. You know what? You got the shot. That's what's important.
Biggest mistakes a second shooter can make that will make me not rehire you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum. Passing out your own business cards or advertising for your own business.
During the wedding?
During the wedding. So a lot of
so
guests,
ballsy, I can't handle it.
It is. I understand how it happens though, and I think it's very innocent, but the guest will come up during the reception and say, oh, do you have a business card? What's the company name? Like, how do I hire you? And the second photographer will say, oh, well, I'm working for my business, 1828 Collective, but my business is blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't work for her. I'm just working for her today. And I totally, like, I think that's completely innocent. It's wrong. But
she cuts to the camera. It's wrong.
Don't do it. But I understand how it can happen because you're like trying not to take credit, like, oh, I'm the lead photographer, this is my work, like whatever.
Yeah, just say, I'm actually working for McKenna today, and I don't have one of her business cards on me, but I can go grab one from her.
Right, or this is her Instagram.
Or Instagram. Most people are Instagram these days anyways. Or people have digital business cards these days, QR codes.
I do.
I know, see? I don't, but...
Oh my gosh. I had a photographer, when the guest asked who she was working for or can I get a business card, she said, I don't remember the name of her business. And I really need you to remember the name of my business if you're working for me. I was so mad. I overheard this interaction and I was just like, now what?
Not hired back.
Nope. Didn't work for me again. So don't do that.
Whoa. That's weird.
Kind of going along with that is following the clients on social media. Because if you're going to use those photos, I don't want my clients asking for your edits of their wedding. So if you follow them and then you post it, you might have a little weird crossover. It's never happened to me, and I don't know exactly how I would address it if it happened.
I think I did that, but I asked your permission.
Yeah.
And I said in the what am I trying to say? Caption. It said second shooting for 1828.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I only did that twice, I think.
But
it was one photo. Yeah. I also asked.
And
the clients didn't ask for my edits or anything, but if they did, I would have said no.
Right. Or just to talk to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I'm not possessive trying to be I'm the big dog here or anything. Yeah. But it's just weird to have that crossover. And then also, I think North Carolina just got rid of the non-compete clause. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not sure exactly.
So don't quote me, but
I know I might have seen it on a TikTok, and we know that the internet is not reliable.
Yes.
But anyway, I do have a non-compete clause. It might be void now, but you can't work with my clients within a year of their wedding. So if they were to reach out to you and be like, oh, can you do a family session for us or maternity session if they get pregnant, a little honeymoon baby?
Yeah.
You can't take my business from me because those were my clients, my advertising.
And that's how you met them and stuff. Yeah. Makes sense.
Exactly. So don't steal your lead photographer's clients or they will not hire you as a second photographer again.
And word will get out.
And you're going to make a lot more money second shooting regularly for somebody if you're a new photographer versus doing that one maternity session for a couple $100s. Keep your relationships better.
You gotta think about it. Yeah, for sure.
And just generally, you want to keep a good relationship with the lead photographer because a lot of my referrals come from other photographers who are booked that I've second shot for before. And they're like, oh my God, McKenna is
And that's how you make more money.
Than
stealing little photo shoots.
Right. That maternity session, perfect. $300, $400.
Just wait, your time will come.
Your time will come.
Absolutely. Now, I think there's some clients that I've followed of yours, but that was because I got to know them and you shot multiple weddings of the same friend group. So we just became friends naturally, but
exactly. But you also asked before. And it wasn't weird.
I was like, I love these people. I want to keep up with them, but it wasn't I want to steal your client.
No, exactly. So, and then bouncing back to shooting for your own portfolio, don't do that. Please do not shoot for your own portfolio. You're working for somebody. But I'm going to just say I've had a second photographer use photos from a wedding of mine. She shot right beside me the whole day. I would tell her to go to cocktail hour, and 5 minutes later, she would be back doing couples portraits. And I look at her website after she relaunched it, and her entire website was photos that she had done second shooting for me. I don't think there was a single other photo on her website. And also, her blog was weddings from me without any credit saying second shooting for. So she was passing it off as if it was
She
her
shot the
own,
weddings herself.
right? Like her clients, her bookings.
Yeah.
And what is so fraudy about that is it's not your posing of the couples. So the direction that I give to my clients, I've worked on for almost 8 years, and I know what to tell clients.
Posing is so hard.
Like making them feel comfortable is so important, and it's a skill. Like you have to learn that. And so if a new photographer who maybe hasn't ever worked with clients in posing them is putting this on their website, and it's this beautiful shot that's perfectly framed,
Yes, the
gorgeous,
lighting's great,
but it wasn't you.
You just happen to be there.
Yeah.
That's Akko Taco.
And not like trying to be rude or anything, but like
It's just not a good idea.
I'm hiring right now for my second company, Wild Society Weddings. Hit her up. She's also on Instagram.
She's also on Instagram. Like and subscribe.
But I'm hiring for my team, and I had over 200 people apply for it. Actually, it was probably like 150. I'm stuck on that 200 number.
That 200's really in your head.
But yeah, I had around like 150 people apply for it because I cross-posted it to a couple of different pages. And a lot of the photographers' websites I was looking at and their blogs, I could tell that it was a second shooter gig because the couple wouldn't look right at the camera.
Yes. It was like a little off.
Right, the bridesmaid photos are from an angle. And I was like, ooh, I can't hire you because you're a liar.
Anyways.
And also, I do need to throw myself under the bus.
Throw yourself under the bus.
Throw myself under the bus because I am an honest queen.
Yeah.
When
if you couldn't tell already.
I'm gonna spill all the truth.
That didn't come across.
The first couple of weddings I second shot, I did that and I posted them on my blog. And as soon as I realized that was wrong, I took them
Rookie
off.
mistake.
But I wish those photographers, if they had seen it, would have called me out because I just didn't know that that was not proper etiquette. Like I wasn't trying to be malicious, but it was malicious.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Right. Like I wasn't. My intention was never to scam people. I was like, oh, I have these fantastic wedding photos to show. But I didn't credit the photographer, and I just wasn't thinking about it.
Yes.
Because they didn't ask me to. I didn't sign a contract for those weddings, and so it was just chaos.
Yeah. Oh, it's so different now. Like, everything is contracts, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's changed.
Well, and there was hardly
so
any
much
information when I was starting out. Like, what was that, 2016 when I started my business? And there was the trend of community over competition or just people helping each other.
Even Instagram was still kind of new in 2016. Like it's not like it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, people were like gatekeeping all of the information and nobody told you how to be a good second photographer.
Yeah.
I remember the first wedding I second shot for, I'm like on Google before and I'm like, what do you do as a second photographer? And there were no blog posts I could find. Nothing. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you think about it too, like as far as like competition versus like, cheering people on. It's like if there's only a small amount of photographers, then like not everybody gets a photographer. So there has to be a lot of people. So like you have to have like those kind of tools to like make your business better because there's too many people for there only be like a couple of photographers. Anyways.
Yeah. But I think that's it for being a good second shooter unless you have any other tips to add.
Be fun to hang out with.
Have a good personality.
Have a good time.
Okay, the last thing I'll add, because you are a great time to hang out with, she's also very intuitive. So helping out the lead photographer, you want to be on your stuff. Like I chronically forget the bouquet. I'll set it down and then walk all the way to the other side of the wedding and be like, okay, let me get your bouquet back in. And Miss Ashley here will run across.
Oh, I ran to find a golden hour spot one time.
And I tipped you well for that.
She did.
Right? I did.
She did. Yeah. She did treat your lead photographers well.
I got you a massage. That's what I did.
Yes. Yes. And then I actually saw that girl for a long time after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff, guys.
So definitely being intuitive, making sure the couple has water on standby. You've done that a ton. I have a couple second shooters who are like on it for that.
Yeah. Like when she's shooting, like be looking around, like thinking like, okay, like what can I do to be proactive in this moment?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely important.
Yeah.
As well.
And then, so this is part 1 with Ashley. We're recording 2 episodes today.
I'm on 2 episodes.
So part 2 is going to be released either a week from now or 2 weeks from now. So we'll see what I end up doing. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
And part 2 is going to be more gossipy. So there's one that's really good in the gossip too. Ashley hasn't heard it yet. I cannot wait for her reaction. But yeah, so that is it for today. Do you want to plug social media? Anything you want to share about your business?
Yeah, so I'm actually really just I shoot word of mouth because my main job is I'm an esthetician, so I do like facials and radio frequency.
She does my Botox.
And no, I don't. I'm not a physician.
You're in the room while my Botox is done.
I'm in the room. Well, not anymore because I'm not a medical assistant anymore. Now I'm like my own person. I don't do that anymore. So
Okay,
yeah, we're moving up in the world.
I mean, good. I'm proud of you, but I'm bummed for myself. I haven't been in a while.
Well, you should come see me. But yeah, I don't do photography. Is not my full-time job. Photography is like something that I love to do. But I only like sprinkle it throughout different spots of my life. But yeah, so I'm Splashly on Instagram with the E as a 3. So
follow her. And
follow me, like and subscribe.
And then for my business, you can follow my personal work at 1828 Collective on TikTok and Instagram. And then for more photo education and more stuff about the podcast, you can follow at 1828 Photo Education.
And then your other one is...
And then my other company, if you want to work with my team instead of just me, is Wild Society Weddings on Instagram. Not TikTok, just Instagram.
Yet.
But yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Thank you guys for listening.